First and foremost, let me say that a lot of the information that I'm going to share this morning is going to be preliminary information. This is a very large scale crash. There's a lot of debris up there. We had a lot of people up there. We had a lot of teamwork from other agencies and from the private sector that helped us to try to sort this thing out. So if I sound generic, it's because I don't have some of that all the information that we're looking for at this point, but we do anticipate having another a press release come out later today that's got as much information as I've got to provide you guys. For anybody that was not here yesterday or last night, yesterday approximately 3:40 p.m. we did have, FHP was called to a multiple vehicle crash. This crash occurred southbound on State Road 93, which is Interstate 75. Once our investigators got there, in fact, we did have multiple vehicles. The sequence of events that I know at this point, we had a tractor trailer and a passenger car traveling north, approaching the 394, the area of the 394 mile marker. Also, we had a tractor trailer and a passenger van traveling south in approximately the same area. At some point, the tractor trailer and the passenger car that were traveling north collided, and then subsequently went through the guardrail traveling into the southbound lanes. At some point, those vehicles struck a passenger van and the other semi-truck. Once the semis struck, they both caught on fire, as well as the passenger car that was carried over from the northbound lane. What we've learned since the crash, we had actually a fifth vehicle that came through and struck either some of the occupants that had been ejected or some of the debris that was on the roadway. What we know at this point is that we do have 7 fatalities out of this incident. 5 of them were children. I don't have their exact ages at this point. I can tell you they range from 8, 9, and up to teenagers. We also have 2 adults that were killed. The 2 adults that were killed, one of them was driving the tractor trailer north, and the other one was the tractor driver driving south. We have approximately 6 to 8 people that were taken to local hospitals and with varying injuries. I don't have a current status on, exactly what those injuries are. I can tell you that it's a heartbreaking event. We have our command staff and our victim advocate that are going to be going to the hospital and meeting with some of the victims' families this morning. And to speak a little more about the roadway, I'm going to turn it over to Troy Roberts with the Florida Department of Transportation. Troy?
This is a tragic accident. My heart breaks for all the people involved, and on behalf of FDOT, our condolences to the families and to the victims and to the folks who survived this crash. We know this is just an awful situation. We want to give you an update on what our game plan is for FDOT. Right now, we have 1 lane open on I-75 southbound. It's been that way since early this morning. Our goal is to reopen a center lane within the hour. We think we can do some quick emergency repairs, make sure we have 2 lanes going open for the rest of the day. We've got some weather coming in that's going to unfortunately impact our work schedule, but we're hoping that we can get that done before the weather gets here. Once the weather passes through the area, once we move on to the evening hours, our goal is to close that center lane again and go to one-lane traffic throughout the night, so our maintenance crews can get out there and do some emergency repair work. We plan on working throughout the night. Our goal is to get I-75 southbound reopened completely as soon as possible. We're going to have a little bit of cold weather tonight that may impact our schedule, but again, we're going to be out there working through the night, doing everything we can to get I-75 reopened.
Hey Troy, there's a barrier right between. They obviously broke through the center barrier. Was it designed to take this kind of an impact? Did it fail, or is it just not? Can it not be designed to prevent this?
I can't speculate on that right now, unfortunately. But right now our focus is on getting the road reopened. That's one of the things we're going to look at in the coming days. Any other safety measures that could have, possibly kept this crash from happening. Anytime we have a crash on any of our roadways, we look at the road to make sure that it didn't contribute to the crash. Within the coming days, we'll take a look at that. If there's any information we can share in the next few days, we will.
Lieutenant, what do we know about the children, the family? Was this one family traveling together? In terms of the children that were killed, were they in one vehicle? Can you tell us about the vehicles?
Here's what I can tell you at this point. We have not fully completed next of kin notification. What I can tell you is that the passenger van was from a place called Avoyles Parish out of Louisiana. That's in the Marksville area. I don't know all the relationships between the people that were on that van. I don't know exactly how many people were in the van, but it was a large passenger van, and I suspect there was possibly 10 to 12 people in that, but we'll confirm that later. So later this morning we will have, when we complete the next of kin notification, which I might add is a big priority with Florida Highway Patrol. Certainly getting the road open is a priority, but and it's a priority getting our investigators on the scene and have them do what they do as experts. But it's also a priority for us today can do next of kin notification. We customarily do not do that over the phone. We like to do that in person. However, with this being an out-of-state, persons traveling from out of state, it makes it a little more difficult. But again, that's what I can share with you, is that they were from Avoyles Parish in Louisiana, and that's in the Marksville area.
The chairman of the National Transportation Safety Board says he would like to send a team of investigators here, but he can't because of the governor's shutdown. How will you
Well, we've done what we normally do in our protocol, which is notify the NTSB. And we're going to continue to do what our investigators do best. These are our experts, so we're going to be open to whatever the NTSB needs, but it's not going to change the fact of what we do day in and day out under very difficult circumstances.
Can you explain, you gave us the definition of the cars going north and south. Was the truck heading north on the lane to the passenger side of the car, so that the truck, when it swerved, took the car with it across the median?
I don't know the exact position of the tractor trailer in the passenger car, but I do know where they came to final rest. And where they did come to final rest, the passenger car was to the left of one of the tractor trailers. If it was the tractor trailer that careened through the guardrail, I don't know that. But what I saw yesterday, the passenger car did come to final rest to the left of one of those tractor trailers.
And then heading south, and the van and the truck, do you know who was closer to the median, whether it was the passenger van or the 18-wheeler?
Well, the tractor trailers came to final rest kind of diagonal across the southbound lanes, and of course then they caught on fire. The passenger van traveled a little bit further south than the final rest of the tractor trailers. I don't know the sequence. I don't know the exact, beyond what I've explained, I don't know the exact lanes, no. That I don't know. I don't have that information right now.
From your
I don't. My information is they were destined for Disney. I do not know the status of anybody that witnessed the crash. I don't have that information. Again, I haven't talked to the investigators about who they've interviewed or who witnessed the crash.
And the relation of the children, were they all related to each other?
I don't know that at this point.
In your experience, obviously these guardrails are put into place to keep cars from crossing over the center lanes in these areas where interstates, you know, these two lanes are side by side. In your experience, is this the kind of crash that these guardrails just can't help? You know what I mean? They're not going to stop a semi-truck from bulldozing through them?
You know, I'm not an engineer. The only thing I can tell you is that, you know, we have engineers that do this type of work, and that's their forte. I can tell you guardrails will not stop everything, but again, that's from something for the experts at the Department of Transportation. That's their job, not mine. You know, our focus is what we're dealing with.
But maybe we can ask the fully loaded legal 18-wheelers, 80,000 pounds, traveling 70 miles an hour. I mean, a concrete wall could barely stop it. I mean, just give us an idea. I mean, the guardrails are there for protection, but it's not really designed to stop something like that, is it?
Again, kind of like what Lieutenant Reardon said, you know, the guardrails are there to stop as much as they can. I mean, there are some things that they cannot. Again, I'm not an engineer, so I can't really speculate on, you know, whether typically guardrails would stop this or not. But, you know, unfortunately in this case they didn't. And, you know, that's something we'll look at to see if, again, if the guardrail, you know, there were any issues with that or whatever. You know, anytime there's a crash on any of our roadways, we go back and look at, you know, every component of the roadway to make sure that the road itself did not contribute to the crash.
Can you tell us more about the vehicles, the semi-truck? What were they carrying? Where were they coming from and going? And the van, what kind of truck van?
I don't, other than it being a large passenger van, I guess they call it a maxi van. I don't really know I don't know the make of the van, and I don't know what the cargo was on the tractor trailers. I know I saw a lot of cardboard boxes and some type of meat products out there, but who was carrying what, I don't have that information.
And the question I think everybody's going to wonder is, did fault what caused the accident?
And again, we're early in this investigation, and that's what our investigators are going to be looking at, you know, for the next several months in this investigation.
And just to clarify, the current numbers are 5 vehicles, 2 of them tractor trailers, right? 2 were heading south, northbound, came across and struck then 3 other vehicles. 7 fatalities, 6 to 8 injuries.
Correct.
You mentioned ejection. Is there any reason to know if they were not wearing seatbelts? Anyone was not wearing seatbelts? Just trying to picture that kind of impact. Maybe not seatbelted.
Again, I don't know the specifics of who was restrained or who was not, and I don't know the dynamics of after the van was struck. I don't know if it rolled or not. I believe last night we concluded that everybody, to the best of our knowledge, was accounted for.
For an investigator with experience looking at traffic accidents, does the amount of fire and destruction in this one make it that much more difficult to try to now backtrack and piece together what happened?
Well, absolutely. Anything that disturbs the roadway and maybe some of the significant tracks, marks, yaw marks, debris trail, any of that stuff that's disturbed or destroyed certainly makes it more difficult. But again, our homicide investigators, they do this on a daily basis. They're the best of the best. They're very, very dedicated. They're very professional. They're very proficient. And there's no doubt in my mind they're going to be able to conclude what transpired in this tragic event.
Are you looking into the truck driver's driving records and they revealed anything yet to you?
Well, in a homicide investigation, we look at a lot of things. We look at certainly cause and effect. We look at drivers. We look at the weather. We look at the roadway. We look at tires. There's a lot of elements that come into an investigation of this magnitude. And so, absolutely, we will be looking into the drivers and what contributions or causes they were involved in.
Are the truck drivers from Florida with a business based in Florida? Is there a Florida connection?
Again, I don't know other than it was two male drivers that were both killed. I don't know what their hometown was, and I don't know which carriers they were driving for. As anybody that saw some of the video from yesterday, the damage from the fire was extensive, and again, I didn't see the logos or the information about where the carrier was from.
You weren't sure what they were carrying?
No. Other than what I saw on the roadway, some of the debris, I saw some boxes and some meat products. Other than that, I don't know what their load was.
There's still about a 2-mile backup. I mean, I know it's sort of insignificant when there's this much loss of life, but how long do you think it's going to be before the road is open? Will it need to be resurfaced after fires like this? Often it does.
Again, that's something for Troy to address.
Yeah, as I mentioned earlier, our goal within the hour is to have 2 lanes open on I-75 southbound, hopefully to clear up some of the congestion there. Our goal, again, tonight is to close 2 lanes again, have 1 lane throughout the evening hours while our crews are out there. They're going to be doing some milling and resurfacing, putting some new asphalt down on the road, working through the night, doing our best to get all 3 lanes reopened as soon as possible.
One of the crew workers this morning was saying that they were going to repave a section of the road this afternoon, so those repairs will probably hold off until tomorrow.
Yeah, we've got some rain coming in, I think around noon, 1 o'clock today, so unfortunately we can't pave when it's raining. So it looks like right now, our best bet is to get 2 lanes open, try to relieve some of that congestion with 2 lanes rather than 1 on I-75, and then, during the evening hours when traffic slows down just a little bit, we will, get to work.
And what kind of conditions for the roadway is it? Like, what kind of cleanup are you guys doing?
A lot of the cleanup itself has been done. We had to wait for FHP to conclude their investigation before we can get out there and look at the roadway. But, right now we've just got some damage to the asphalt. Again, that's one of the reasons we're going to be doing some of the resurfacing project this evening.
They also said that they cleaned up about 400 gallons of, fuel and water and oil combined. Do you have a number for that? Or an estimate or anything?
I don't have an exact amount of what was spilled or what burned, obviously. Again, that's going to be up for the environmental consultants that do that cleanup to evaluate and estimate what was spilled. If anybody else doesn't have any questions, what I will tell you is that as soon as we get additional information about the hometown, the ages, the relationships, and we hope to do that early this morning, I'll be putting out a detailed press release on that information. If you'll watch for that, and I'll respond accordingly with follow-up questions to that, because I don't think we're going to be able to squeeze in another press conference today with the weather being it is.
One last question. How did you come to find out that this group of people were traveling to Disney? Can you speak about the nature of the tragedy being the new year and such young lives lost?
Again, I don't know how the information was gained about where they were traveling to. One life is tragic. The loss of life, period, is tragic, and unfortunately we had 7 people lose their lives. Again, our focus right now is to complete this next of kin notification and to move forward with our investigation to be, again, as thorough, as complete, as diplomatic and tactful as we can do when we're dealing with these families and their loss. And so at some point, and this sounds early on, is that they can start having some closure as quickly as we can do what we're going to do to let them understand what transpired yesterday.
You deal with traffic accidents on a regular basis. You see death in your job. Just give us an idea, it may seem obvious, but the magnitude of what happened.
Well, again, you know, I can only speak for the men and women of the Florida Highway Patrol, and I can tell you that we've got a lot of dedicated men and women that wear this badge and put this uniform on every day. We're public servants. We're proud to be public servants. Unfortunately, this is part of what we do, and it goes with the territory. So we accept it. We try not to dwell on it, but we just try to step up and do the right thing for the public and families in this type of situation.
But you don't see accidents like this every day, right?
No, sir. Okay, well, I appreciate your attention, and you'll just stand by for the, I'll be putting a detailed press release out later this morning or this afternoon. Thank you.